March 25, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. The pre-market just kind of continued from yesterday. It was kind of sold off, then it rallied pretty hard. Sold off in the open, and these choppy little legs rallied, sold off again, kind of consolidated, sold off, chopped around, and kind of rallied again. So I took a total of one trade today, and right here was profitable. And this is how I drew up the charts. The price action and the volume were actually pretty low, so there weren't very many setups that I found, and there weren't very many trade opportunities that I thought were worth taking. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the charts. There wasn't really any economic data to really move the markets. And I would say most of the time it was just a very sideways day. Maybe at most, I mean, if you took the extremes, it's probably from, let's say, the low here, 58.10 to about 58.37. So it's about 28 points. But in actuality, I think it was closer to about maybe just 20 points. So in the pre-market, right before the open, it looked like it was moving up on this yellow up channel. It had no break. It pushed down, bounced. It doesn't get to the top, and then it opens, flushes down. And I actually saw this, but it happened right at the open. It was one leg down, pull back, second leg. So it's pretty close to let's go ahead and do this. Measured move. The problem was that it opened right here, right at the open at 6:30 Pacific Standard. So it is a first entry long, pullback, second entry long. I thought it was an almost trade. I mean, it's very close to being a possible trade for me. It's two measured legs down. It's a break of this yellow up channel. So you're thinking it might want to come back up. The problem with it is, besides being super early in the day and the signal bar is being strong, I wanted to break above the EMA. It is really close though, so it's like a really strong bar. If this had just closed the high, or better yet, actually closed above it, above the EMA, then I think I might have tried to just scramble and get an order in. But as I said, you see this in real time. It looks a little dicey. I mean, it is very close to being a actual, for me, executable trade. So I passed it up. Prices kind of oscillate. It starts moving down in what I think is this orange down channel. It's closer to an orange down trend line. No super clean second entries. I mean, you could say it's a first entry, second entry, like a lower high if you're thinking of reversal. But here, it's just kind of choppy beginning of the day. Creates a new low here. It's a first entry short, pullback on the same candle. The signal bar and the trigger bar occur. It creates a second entry short. And I actually thought this was a possible trade. It is a break of this orange down channel. So this orange down channel, you're thinking of a break, and it's going to fail, move back in. Break of this green up channel only really tested once, but with this really strong reversal and push down below the EMA, I thought this was a possible trade, but the risk is a little bit larger because this is a 29 tick candle. So I just wanted to wait for a lower high if it shows up. So it ends up working, but you don't get a lower high till about right here. This lower high is a little bit suspicious, or just I had to be a little careful because it is hitting some kind of bounce support zone. The prices continue moving, pushes up. You have a first entry short, second entry short. This isn't a good signal bar. I would not be thinking of going short here. It is a break of the green up channel, test the new high. I'm not so sure that it's going to come back down now because it is a break of this orange, and it did come back down and test the extreme 2 times, once, twice. So is it reversing? It could be, but I'm not ready to take a long yet either, but I'm certainly not ready to take a short. First entry short, second entry short ends up working, but you don't know that this is going to happen at the time. This wasn't even a good signal bar. And I actually do take this next trade it sets up. So it's a new low, it's a first entry short pullback, second entry short. On this candle, the second entry short has technically failed. So the first entry short, second entry short, failure, comes back down. It doesn't quite touch the EMA, but it is following up this trend line. So I thought as a confirmation of failed second entry short, green channel has tested the high now. It actually had one push up, second push up, but I like the look of this candle, and there's enough room to the high, good signal bar. So I actually entered a stop limit order. I placed it right here, and as the tick count was running out on this candle, it was getting down to the double digits. I dropped it here and expecting like if it hits, it was going to flush up. But If this next candle after this guy took too long to oscillate here, I probably would have canceled, but I was lucky. It takes my order and immediately fills me, so I like that. But bounces, it starts moving up what I think is yellow up channel, no clean second entries. It looks like a failed breakout of this pre-market high, because right now it looks like it's a range. There's a pre-market high, pre-market low, some kind of support here. So I'm wondering if this is a range from this blue line up to the pre-market high, or is it the entire range from the pre-market lows to the pre-market high? I'm not really sure, but I do identify a possible fail breakout, but it keeps going. So this could actually be the fail breakout. I mean, they're both failed breakouts, but another follow through failed breakout. However, it looks like it's the yellow up channel is a little bit more strong. It's the first entry long, pull back, second entry long, bad signal bar to go long. I'm looking for a higher low. You technically get a higher low here. It's a first entry, pull back, second entry, higher low. Should have marked that. Higher low, it failed to break above, but it's still good enough. I wasn't sure if this was a trading range, but I had it drawn at the time. Kind of moves into this trading range. Fail breakout here, made a corresponding one here, kind of pushes down. You technically have a new high first entry long. You would have a second entry long here by the count, but it looks like it's actually just one leg here, first entry. So you kind of group this together. First entry, pull back, second entry, decent signal bar, but it's below the EMA. I'm not too keen on this, especially seeing this in real time. Pushes down and starts flushing downwards. It's getting a little congested, dojis in a row. Pushes down. So it breaks out of this channel because initially I had it something like this. I thought it was a fail breakout. So it's a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. It's also a new low, first entry short, pullback, potential second entry short. So technically the first entry long hasn't failed yet. The second entry short isn't confirmed yet. So it all depends on what happens on this next candle. By the time this one forms and flushes down, I think the trade is too late. But if you had pretty strong belief that it's not going to move back into this yellow down, this orange down channel, then you might want to take a short here. But I thought it was certainly a little more aggressive for me. Kind of chop sideways. I saw this as a new high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long here. I didn't mark it. I didn't like the signal bar, but there could be a fail breakout, another push in. The thing I also don't like that it is the break on the bottom of this trading range on a bearish bias. If this setup was kind of reversed mirror image up here and it broke out, I would like to take that trade more than this one because this one is kind of counter trend. Clearly the bias is negative. It is consolidating. So if I took a long here, I'm pushing up to the EMA, as opposed to if it broke on this side, I'd be going with trend, break out, and I'd be more inclined, like a second entry short, to go push back because I have more momentum, more inertia going with me. Prices then continue moving down. So here I kind of dragged this a little bit lower here, thinking, okay, maybe there is no fail breakout. The new low, it's a first entry short, second entry short, second entry short failure. This isn't a good signal bar, so I was not thinking of going long here. But after I saw this, I was thinking, is there a higher low? But the higher low is getting, the price action is getting too far for to even consider a higher low if it shows up. You get a higher low here, but it's too far from the anything. It's just kind of floating out in the middle of nowhere. Take it. This yellow, this orange, excuse me, this red down channel doesn't exist yet. So this pushes down on this purple. Technically, you have a first entry long pullback. You have a second entry long here. It doesn't really confirm too much except maybe a bounce and confirmation of the pre-market low, not pre-market low, this low of the regular trading hours, but it's not good enough in my opinion. Plus the break of this purple has already tested the low. It could be reversing, so I'm just waiting. I'm not too clear about the bias. I do know this orange down channel has tested the low now with this guy. Pushes up. It's a new low, first entry short, pullback. This would have been a decent second entry short to maybe get ready on, but it closed above the EMA, so I'm not taking any trades, not getting ready. Pushes down, it would have worked. So I'm looking for a lower high now. Fortunately, you finally do get a lower high here, but it was a little bit further away. So this lower high, it's a break of this purple made one attempt down. If you're looking at a bigger time frame, so not time frame, but looking at this, you could make an argument it broke and tested the low. So maybe downtrend has played out. This orange downtrend is broken and made a new low and made a second low attempt here. But I do see as a new low here, first entry short, second entry short, pullback, lower high. So this is some conflicting ideas. Downtrend probably played out on this orange one and on this purple one. It made two legs up. Now this orange one also needs a test of its low. So the test of the low here still is needed. This technically didn't really get a test of the low here, but this orange one has. So this one's played out. This one is debatable whether it played out or not, and this one hasn't played out. So there's more going for it to go short than it is definitely to go long. And after these two legs up, I could see a second leg with enough room to the bottom. So it excuse me. So it ends up working. Kind of hits this triple test. 1, 2, maybe not a third, but for sure a triple test from here. So 1, 2, 3, potentially a fourth test here. But it pushes through, starts reversing back up. You have a first entry short, kind of gets a little bit sideways here, pushes up to here. This is where I established this red trend line, and I just placed the bottom of the trend channel, maybe a channel down here, but I don't really trust this red one too much. That's why it's not colored in. It's just kind of a potential guideline right now. First entry long, pull back. You technically have a second entry long, but this is just looking a little bit too sideways, a little choppy. Pushes down. Again, you have a new low, first entry short. You technically have a second entry short here, but it's an inside bar. So I actually saw this as visual first entry short. You might have a second entry short here. So it's like a first entry short, second entry short, but I'm not going short into this EMA. No rejection off of this, but I'm not thinking of a failed second entry short either yet because I don't think there's enough information just sitting on my hands and wait. It does create the first entry short visual, second entry short failure, but now it's running right into this potential resistance. So again, no trade. It creates a pretty much same size candle, so I don't know what to do with that when I see this. Pushes down, kind of reverses back up. You have a new localized new high, first entry long. Again, it's running into this ambiguous potential resistance. So I'm not willing to go long, but I'm not willing to go short yet either. It's just kind of sit on my hands. I'm not sure what's exactly going on. Pushes down, first entry short, pull back. Technically, you have a second entry short, but you don't know you're going to have a second entry short till it confirms here, so there's no trade. Kind of reverses back up. It's a little choppy, a little noisy. You do have a localized new low, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short here, but I don't like the looks of these candles. It's too neutral, doji. Flushes up, bounces. Again, you have a new high, first entry long, pullback. Inside bar, second entry long, but it's more like a visual first entry, pullback, maybe a second, but it's not very clean. Plus, it's getting too close to the end of the day, so I'm just kind of not really excited to try to take any trades at this point. It kind of moves into the close. So it wasn't a very exciting day. I was happy that I got my one and only trade right here, which was a little bit not the best setup, but I didn't really see any fantastic knock it out of the park setups today anyways. So hopefully that was helpful.